All right, so what's happening, YouTube? Oh, man, it's been a minute since I did one of these. But welcome to It's John TV. For those of y'all that are supporters of the channel, y'all will notice that I have been gone for a while. I've been gone for about 5 months. Been having a whole bunch of stuff going on with life, no excuses whatsoever. But priorities, man. You know, sometimes there's things that's more important that you gotta put your attention towards. And, you know, I'm a new father of twin girls. I've been focusing on that. Dealing with the passing of my father, which I'll speak more on at the end of the video. Stick around if you're interested in hearing about that. But anyway, I'm back, man. I finally made my way back up here. Got a different, I guess, angle in the studio, whatever. But anyway, this video here, it came across my timeline, and it's about Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. The title of the video is Kobe is Above LeBron, Definitely. So I've made a couple of videos regarding this topic. I have top 15 lists of all time. And of course, with me being a Kobe Bryant fan, as you see, I got a Kobe Bryant shirt on. Kobe is my favorite player of all time, but hey, I gotta disagree with that. All right. LeBron James, he is magnificent. All right. I think the only player that had a better career than LeBron has been Michael Jordan. And you can make an argument for Kareem, but everybody else, you know, Magic slightly outside, don't really have the longevity of LeBron. Kobe Bryant, as far as the success goes, he did miss the playoffs more than LeBron has. Even though LeBron, he has missed the playoffs a couple times in recent history. But, you know, I got to see what they got to say with this video. Is by Skap Attack. I'm going to go ahead and, you know, I'm a supporter of these guys that I react to. I'm going to put the video in the description below to have a link to the original video if you want to check it out. Give Skap Attack some love. He has some other great videos that I'm probably going to be getting into soon on this channel. But anyway, can I promise I'm going to be posting consistently? But for the time being, I am here. I plan on doing a couple videos tonight and getting those posted and getting back active. But anyway, not going to waste no time. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see what they got to say.
Despite this never-ending siege of pathetic LeBron jock sniffers populating the embarrassing hordes of mass media networks, constantly assaulting our sensibilities in an unending quest to manufacture some contrived GOAT debate that embarrassingly includes one of the biggest losers in professional basketball history, there was another player whose career coincided with the media-created king, and the vast majority of actual peers that played against Kobe Bryant and LeBron James routinely select Kobe not only above LeBron James, but in many cases above every other player in NBA history besides only Michael Jordan. From Kevin Durant.
Easy Kobe.
Easy. Number 2 ever.
Exactly. I don't even want to say number 2. It's like they just up here with
man, bro. Like
to Bruce Bowen.
But I just have Kobe above LeBron in that aspect of things, and he should be number 2. And Bill Russell, we know, Magic, we know, and then that Tim Duncan.
This has been a pretty regular occurrence whenever a former player that played during that era goes on record.
And that's respect, man. I mean, Kobe will probably say Bruce Bowen was one of the toughest opponents that he ever faced up against. So, you know, it's only right that Bruce Bowen give Kobe the same type of praise. But I mean, number 2, it's tough, man. It's tough to put him there. Like, just Kareem Abdul-Jabbar alone, like, with his resume, it's tough, man. With all the MVPs that Kareem has, he's a 6-time MVP winner, 6-time NBA champion. You know, and I mean, LeBron, I mean, he's still going. This dude is in what was a year 22. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I haven't been really doing research or anything like that. But I mean, this dude still was performing at a top level at his age after so many years in the league. Like, we have never, ever seen anything like this before, man. I don't think we ever will. You know, with the way that some players play, like this dude, LeBron, has been taking care of his body, man. And is still at the top of the league. All right. It's amazing, you know? And with Kobe Bryant, like I said, I'm a Kobe fan to the fullest. Kobe shirt on, all right? Lakers fan, all right? Father Time caught up with him. It did, you know? He played 20 years for the Lakers, but Father Time got him in his last couple of years in the league. You know, some years he didn't really play, and, you know, whenever he did play, he wasn't efficient at the end. Really, for the bulk of his career, he wasn't really super duper efficient, you know, like compared to like a LeBron, Kareem, or even Mike, you know? And that's the type of things we got to be real about as basketball fans. Like, I know, like we want to give the benefit of the doubt because of his passing and all that stuff, all right? But one thing we can't deny is the numbers, all right? Women lie, men lie, but numbers don't. Shout out to Yo Gotti, all right? The efficiency wasn't there, all right? His will to win, I mean, of course, he's one of the most clutch players ever played. Has the most game-winning shots, of course, tied with LeBron, you know, and Michael Jordan. Joe Johnson is up there with him, you know, but like whenever it comes to clutch time, I want Kobe to shoot. You know, the dude, he wasn't afraid of the moment, all right? He is a 5-time NBA champion. He is a 2-time finals MVP. He did win an MVP, which a couple of MVPs he was robbed of, all right? You know, one that went to, I'll say Tim Duncan got one that belongs to Kobe. Steve Nash got maybe 1 or 2 that belong to Kobe. You know, that's real, all right? That's a legit argument that we could have. But, you know, as far as like, oh, he is number 2, hey, you know, players gonna have their own opinion. They only could go off of who they played against. You know, if you ask Bill Russell probably say, hey, I got Kareem, you know, I got Kareem up there, and, you know, I got Bill Walton, I don't know, you know, some other greats. But hey, you know, that's just my opinion. I'm just a fan of the game. We all have our opinions. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Is Kobe a top 2 talent to ever play? All right. You know, I got a lot of Larry Bird fans on the channel, man. A lot of people gonna say, no, Larry Bird is number 2 or he is the GOAT or whatever. I mean, I could put Kobe over Larry Bird. I can make a case for that. But LeBron, I can't really make a case for Kareem. I can't even make a case for Magic, all right? So anyway, let me know what y'all think down below. But anyway, let's get back to the video.
Recent to do so was Allen Iverson, who laid out his outlook on the GOAT debate in a recent interview with Rachel Nichols.
I say Mike, and I say Kobe. You know what I mean? And then everybody else.
And for some reason, anytime a player does this, every revisionist jock sniffer in the mass media loses their damn minds in an attempt to trip over each other and slander Kobe Bryant. The ignorant, hypocritical Stephen A. Smith was recently taking a multitude of shots at Bryant, both on his ESPN television show First Take, as well as his personal YouTube channel.
Well, Kobe Bryant is not the second greatest player in NBA history. That's just not true. It's just not. It's just not.
Stephen A. Smith seems to be...
And I agree. I agree with Stephen A. Smith, man. I'm a Kobe Bryant fan, bro. Kobe Bryant is my favorite player of all time, all right? But I am a logical thinker, okay? I do not think out of emotion. Since he is my favorite player, I'm not going to say, oh, he is the GOAT, because that's just not true. If I was to have a legit debate with somebody, I will lose that. All right. And there's multiple statistics and categories that I will lose in. All right. Kobe is not a better athlete than LeBron. And if you say, oh, no, that's not true. Well, hey, let's look at the longevity. All right. LeBron has been dominating. All right. For the past like 21 years. 21 years. I can't count his rookie year. He was figuring it out. He was an 18-year-old, all right? But after that, this dude in 2007 drug Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Varejao, Eric Snow, Daniel Gibson to the NBA Finals, all right? ass the Detroit Pistons, who were dominating the East at that time. He single-handedly beat that squad. Okay? Kobe Bryant fan to the fullest. And ever since, like you could have 2007, he was dominating the playoffs. 2013, he was dominating the playoffs. 2018, man, come on, bro. That run there was amazing. And I skipped clean over 2015 when he lost Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love and just had Matthew Dellavedova and still had a very competitive series where people are talking like, man, is LeBron going to be the first Finals MVP winner to lose since Jerry West? I've seen those performances, all right? It's just, I don't know. I agree with Stephen A. And a lot of people, they get emotional because it's like, oh, man, you know, he's not with us anymore and all that stuff. All right, hey, that's true. You could think out of emotion, but if you have a legit debate with somebody that knows basketball, you're losing that debate, okay? You got to use logic, pure logic. That's what we're doing here. I agree with Stephen A. But anyway, let's get back to the video.
Of course, with LeBron James or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being slated over Kobe Bryant all time.
I got to do a better job of rewinding.
Stephen A. Smith seems to be fine, of course, with LeBron James or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar being slated over Kobe Bryant all time. This is despite Kobe having 15 all-NBA.
That's because they are, okay? They are. If you look at everything, I quickly glanced over Kareem's accomplishments. My man, Kareem is a 6-time MVP winner, okay? This dude is a 6-time NBA champion. This dude was dominating the league. He was the all-time leader in points for over 38 years. Okay? One of the most unstoppable moves in the game of basketball. I have videos on this, all right? I really wholeheartedly believe this. I am not a new believer of this, man. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is probably one of the most underrated, underappreciated stars to ever play in pro sports, okay? Ever. With the amount of accomplishments this guy has. It's crazy how disrespected he is. All right? LeBron James, like, come on, man. This dude, like, we really might be having a conversation like this dude has a 25-year career of dominance, man. This dude, like, could leave at the top of the game, like, not limping away. Lord, please help him with his health. But, like, this dude could really walk away from the game, like, as a top 15 player. How many situations have we had like this before for a player that played over 20 years? Never, ever. You can't even fathom that. Until LeBron James came along, nobody was thinking that it's even possible to have like that high level of dominance for so long. I'm 30 years old. Okay. LeBron James has been dominating the league since I was 8 years old. All right. I was in grade school. That's amazing, bro. That's crazy work. So anyway, let's get back to it.
Selections, which is as many as Kareem, and more than 15 All-NBA selections, which is as many as Kareem, and more than any other player in league history beside LeBron's 19. While Bryant was also...
That's one stat, 19 All-NBA teams, all right? I'm a fan. I love Kobe, my favorite player of all time.
In league history beside LeBron's 19. While Bryant was also named All-NBA defense 12 times, more than any other player in league history besides only Tim Duncan. Kobe's 5 rings, meanwhile, are of course the same as Magic. More than Bird, more than Wilt, more than LeBron, and 1 fewer than Kareem. But Stephen A. feels as if he has to draw a distinction between Kobe's rings and Kareem's. Yes, the crooked fake news media, clearly on the take, just can't avoid bringing up one of the most regurgitated and pathetic narratives in their slew of Kobe.
I'm sorry, y'all. I have myself up on my prompter here, and it's causing a pretty big glare in the screen. Let me know if that got better. But I kind of see it off to the side. So apologies for the visuals. But anyways, get back to it.
Slander. The regurgitated and pathetic narratives in their slew of Kobe slander. The age-old Kobe was carried by Shaq narrative.
But we can't ignore the fact that the first three came with Shaq in his prime.
But in the regular season and playoffs from 1999 through...
Does that matter? Does that matter? Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was a top 50 NBA player of all time, okay? He made the 50 greatest players team with a very short span of dominance. That's how great of a defender, two-way player Scottie Pippen was. All right. Magic had Kareem. Bird had Parrish, McHale, Johnson, Ainge. All right. Kareem had Oscar Robertson for his first title. Wilt Chamberlain had Jerry West. Like, come on, man. You need a number two. All right. You need a number two or a number one, you know, if you're a star player. So, I mean, just the fact that people kind of hold that over Kobe's head, it is kind of crazy. Because, like, let's just talk about the greatness of just these two players. All right. And don't forget, like, there was times where, like, Shaq was in foul trouble. Or Shaq wasn't in the game because of the moment, because, you know, you could just foul him and he's going to miss free throws. And Kobe had to take over games, especially against the Pacers. You know, like, people forget about that. They wouldn't have those rings if Kobe didn't put on his cape and like, hey, man, let me be great. Let me drag us to this victory. So I don't know, man. It's not fair that happens to Kobe Bryant.
Shaq in his prime.
But in the regular season and playoffs from 1999 through 2004, Kobe Bryant averaged just 1 point fewer than Shaquille O'Neal. But Kobe also led the Lakers in assists per game during this span of time. And factoring in Kobe's points assisted as well as scored, he accounted for a larger percentage of the Lakers' total offense than Shaquille O'Neal in the playoffs during their 4 finals runs and 3 championship wins, as Kobe scored or assisted on 2,785 of the Lakers' 8,217 total points during LA's 4 finals runs, good for 34% of the offense, while Shaq accounted for only 32% of the total offense over those 4 playoff years.
But also, Kobe is a guard, okay? And he does have the ball in his hand more than Shaq. As a big man, you are dependent of the guard to get you the ball. So, you know, I'm expecting Kobe Bryant to have more assists than Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, back in the day, Biggs wasn't really passing the rock like that, you know, unless you was like Wilt Chamberlain, you know, or, Sabonis. You know what I'm saying? Let's be for real here, all right? So, I mean, it's only right he's supposed to have more points scored or assisted on. He has the ball in his hands.
For only 32% of the total offense over those 4 playoff years. This was while Kobe was all-league defense and leading not just the Lakers, but the entire field of NBA players in fourth quarter scoring during the playoffs in all 3 of LA's championship runs in the early 2000s. For the Lakers' 16-game run in the 2001 playoffs, resulting in arguably the best single-season postseason run in NBA history for any team, Kobe Bryant averaged 29.5 points per game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1.5 steals. The 29.4 points per game is more than any of Steph Curry's 4 championship runs, and more than all but one of LeBron's championship seasons. Kobe, by the way, was just 21 years old.
Notice how you worded that. All but one. We just talking about one season from Kobe. All right. And he don't want to say that LeBron James did have a better season or postseason than Kobe. That's clever. But I caught that, all right? So that's one category where LeBron James, well, another category where LeBron James outperforms Kobe. And I'm a Kobe fan. Hence the Kobe shirt. All right. But come on, bro. I know basketball. I know stats. I know playoff runs. Dirk Nowitzki also had a great playoff run. One of the greatest I have ever seen and witnessed. Who did he knock out in that playoff run in the second round? Let me know that in the comments.
LeBron's championship seasons. Kobe, by the way, was just 21 years old in this season while being carried by Shaq. But since all the great NBA...
Which I agree with that. That's a crazy narrative or crazy storyline to tell. Like this dude's averaging 29 and a half points and he's being carried by Shaq. That's crazy work, bro. I disagree with that one. I mean, I'm with you. That's a crazy take.
Season while being carried by Shaq. But since all the great NBA players that have won a multitude of championships are typically surrounded by other all-time greats, it's fundamentally difficult to gauge an individual player's true value without their elite supporting casts. I mean, Kareem won 5 of his 6 NBA championships with Magic Johnson, a universally accepted top 5 all-time player. And Kareem's one and only other title came alongside Oscar Robertson, another fringe top 10 all-time player who is generally regarded top 13 at worst. While
I'm about to say, all right, I give you top 13, but top 10? I think it's fair to say Steph Curry booted him out. You can make a case for even KD. Giannis. Giannis is getting up there. Jokic. Come on, let's get uncomfortable here, all right? There's a couple players that still playing to this day, all right, that surpassing a lot of these old school players, bro. And that's just me being for real, all right?
An all-time player who is generally regarded top 13 at worst, while Magic, of course, won all 5 of his alongside Kareem. LeBron, meanwhile, won 2 of his 4 titles with perennial All-Stars and Hall of Famers in Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. He then traded them in for 2 more perennial All-Stars and likely Hall of Famers in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, before trading them in for Anthony Davis, a top 75
All right, those 2 players that he played with on the Cavs, K-Love and Kyrie Irving, they had a lot of injury troubles, okay? They both weren't available in 2015. 2016, yeah, they won. And then after that, they got KD. There was nothing they could do, all right? Kyrie ended up leaving, all that stuff. It wasn't like he had, availability from those players to do something with. And the reason why he left Miami after playing with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh was because of injury trouble from Dwayne Wade. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't the same player. So it's not the same, It's not the same. Kobe Bryant played with some great players. All right, you just mentioned the narrative about Shaquille O'Neal. People saying that he carried Kobe and all that stuff, which I disagree with, but he played with Shaq, who is a top 10 player, top 7 player of all time, okay? And he had Pau Gasol, who was a very good player, perennial all-star, all-NBA power forward. Lamar Odom wasn't no slouch, 6th man of the year. Derek Fisher was a decent player. Ron Artest, former defensive player of the year, all right? One of the greatest defenders to ever play, perimeter defenders to ever play. So Kobe has some talent too, okay? You can't throw this narrative out there like, oh, he played with these all-stars. You can't tell me Kevin Love or Kyrie Irving was better than Shaquille O'Neal. All right, you can't tell me Dwayne Wade or Chris Bosh was better than Shaquille O'Neal. In some cases, you could probably make a case that Pau Gasol probably had a better career than Chris Bosh. you know, on an international level also, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Let's get uncomfortable here, all right? You know, let's be for real about something. So anyway, back to it.
Before trading them in for Anthony Davis, a top 75 all-time player. Bird, meanwhile, had an assortment of all-time greats and 2 top 75 players for his title runs. Even Jordan had Pippen. If only there was some way to separate these players from the greats they had around them. Oh, you mean like exactly what Kobe Bryant did in the summer of 2004 when Shaquille O'Neal left town? And after 8 seasons, 4 finals appearances, and 3 titles together, the Shaq and Kobe era would come to a resounding conclusion. Kobe would ultimately get Pau Gasol, who at the time the Lakers acquired him in his 7th season in the NBA. Gasol had made 1 All-Star team, had 0 All-NBA selections, and won not a single playoff game. Kobe took that team.
By the way, he played for the Memphis Grizzlies, okay? A very small market team. Wasn't really successful. Didn't really have a lot of playoff runs. I think the only playoff run they had up to that point was in 2004. I don't know. What was that year Huey Brown won GM Executive of the Year or something like that? I don't know. But, I mean, come on, bro. Do not slight Pau Gasol, all right? He was still a double-double machine. Like, you like, oh man, you know, no All-NBA, only 1-time All-Star. Come on, man. Pau Gasol was that dude, bro. As a Lakers fan, whenever we got Pau Gasol, I was like, okay, let's go get a ring. It's time. All right. We knew adding Pau Gasol was a big deal. It was a huge move that took place. And we traded Marc Gasol for him. Which, I mean, it did work out later on down the line for the Grizzlies. But come on, man. Like, we are not about to just crap on Pau Gasol like that. Like, he did not have a very successful international career. FIBA international career. That's Pau Gasol, bro. I'm not going to let you do that. As a Lakers fan, we ain't standing for that. All right? That was a big addition. And that was the determining factor in why we got 2 more championships prior to the one that we just got, you know, in 2020. Pau Gasol. All right. Put some respect on that man's name.
Selections and won not a single playoff game. Kobe took that team with his 1-time All-Star right through the heart of the most stacked conference in NBA history. A conference which included the Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, and Sean Marion Suns, along with the dynastic Tim Duncan San Antonio Spurs, boasting a perennial trio of Hall of Famers, along with the perennial 60-win Dirk Nowitzki Mavericks and a slew of other competitive teams, including the Yao Ming and Tracy McGrady Rockets, the Carmelo Anthony and Allen Iverson Nuggets, as well as the Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden.
You're losing me, bro. The Phoenix Suns had injury trouble, okay, after the acquisition of Pau Gasol. San Antonio Spurs, yeah, legit. I'll give you that one. All right. But the Denver Nuggets teams that the Lakers dominated, like, come on, man. But Allen Iverson, I wouldn't even really say that. Like, they got past a Chauncey Billups, Carmelo Anthony-led Denver Nuggets team who had a very competitive Western Conference Finals. All right. With the Suns, I mean, yeah, he had Alvin Gentry, but, man, like, they wasn't really dominating like that. Like, let's be for real, bro. The only team we was really concerned about, and the reason why we had to go make that move, was the Boston Celtics. Because we got to the East barbecue chicken. All right, get out the way, Dwight. You know what I'm saying? That Boston Celtics 2010 NBA Finals run, that was a very competitive series, though. I love that series. It came down to the last seconds in a Game 7, where my great leader, Kobe Bryant, didn't really play the best. And Ron Artest saved the day. I mean, let's be for real, all right? But I mean, they wasn't really stacked like that. All right. OKC, they did eventually grow up because they were a very young team. They were very tough to stop. The Dallas Mavericks eventually became tough to stop, you know, because both those teams knocked us out of playoffs. But I mean, in that stretch, like the number 2 seed in the West in 2008 was the New Orleans Hornets. You know what I'm saying? So let's be for real. Everybody else had injury trouble. So anyway, back to it.
Thunder. Yeah, Kobe would take his fringe, one-time All-Star, and go to 3 consecutive finals, winning back-to-back titles against the 2 teams that ended MVP LeBron's seasons in consecutive years in both 2009 and 2010.
Which he has a legit point. That is very true. 2009, Orlando got LeBron out of there. In the Eastern Conference Finals, 2010, Boston got LeBron out in the second round. So that is true. But who did LeBron have on the roster? Okay. Mo Williams was the second best player. I'm not dissing Mo Williams by any means. He is a very respected player. All right. Had a very good career, but that's your number 2. You know what I'm saying? You going against All-Star Jameer Nelson. You going against a trio of KG, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Rajon Rondo. And you had Rasheed Wallace, who has championship experience, former All-Star. You know what I'm saying? Tony Allen. So, I mean, LeBron James literally did not have any help. That's a very legit reason to lose. I mean, a lot of teams dominate in the regular season and get to the playoffs and crap the bed. Hey, look at the Cavs the last couple seasons. Come on, man. Donovan Mitchell. Great player. Coming to the playoffs. I mean, where's your supporting cast at? Where did they go? I mean, let's be for real about something here, man. I mean, yeah, that's true. But LeBron didn't have anybody. Hence why he took his talents to South Beach.
In consecutive years in both 2009 and 2010. Kobe led the playoffs in scoring those 3 consecutive seasons, a feat duplicated by only one player in NBA history, which was predictably Michael Jordan. And Bryant would win back-to-back titles without a single other player on the top 75 list, something that no player has ever matched. Not only are Kobe's 3 title runs with Shaq severely underrated.
So Shaq wasn't a top 75 player ever? I might have tuned out here. I don't know. Maybe he said except for Shaq. I don't know.
Other player on the top 75 list.
We'll go back a little further.
NBA history, which was predictably Michael Jordan. And Bryant would win back-to-back titles without a single other player on the top 75 list, something that no player has ever matched. Not only are Kobe
I guess he's right. I don't know. Let's get back to it, though.
3 title runs with Shaq, severely underrated. But he, unlike all of the other all-time greats, proved he could do it without other all-time greats surrounding him. Perhaps it is time to end the slander and admit what all of these other players have been seeing and saying for years. Kobe is above LeBron. And if you were really watching and paying attention during the peak of his prime, it really isn't that hot of a take at all.
Well, great video, Skap Attack. You have your opinion, man, and you do make some decent points. But as a Kobe Bryant fan to the fullest, I must say I disagree overall with your take. I do think that LeBron James is number 2. Very legit shot at number 1. He is still going. He has had a great career. All right. Just to say this man was an 18-year-old coming out of St. Vincent, St. Mary, Akron, single parent household, no guidance, well, limited guidance, and had the type of career that he's had. One of the smartest players to ever play. A lot of people bash me in the comments talking about his IQ. Man, you can't tell me LeBron James don't have a high IQ, dude. Just look at his podcast, Mind the Game, where he talks basketball. This dude is a basketball savant, all right? He is great. And I'll say just as great as Kobe. It's just Kobe was better at some things than LeBron. LeBron is better at some things than Kobe. And that's just the reality of the sport, all right? But the truth is, Kobe is not above LeBron all time. If you talk about a span, yes, but overall, I can't give you that one. But anyway, hey, check out the link to Skap Attacks video in the link. I have a link in the description down below. But anyway, for those of y'all that stuck around to this point, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about something briefly. You know, my family, we do need your prayers. Just lost my dad. My dad was 64 years old, passed away from a heart attack. Love my dad deeply, dearly, great father. He worked a long time, ended up having Parkinson's, battle with that, and passed away from a heart attack. So the passing was abrupt. Did kind of put me in a little rough spot with depression and stuff like that. But hey, we're still managing and getting through it. And for those of y'all out there that need to hear this, man, listen, you never know, all right, when your loved one will get called back home. So, you know, with that being said, just love them, cherish every moment, you know, spend time, don't neglect your loved one, because you never know. One day you'll wake up, or one day you'll just be sitting around, you get a phone call saying that they passed away. And that's just reality. So go ahead and just pray for my family. My dad was a great man. You know, raised me and my brother, was always there. Finally had a chance to be a grandfather, you know, so, you know, it's tough. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, rest in peace, my dad. We need your support. Catch you in the next video. Love you. Peace.